This year, we're focusing on customers in 2020 and what your business can do to be prepared, stay ahead, and survive in all the shifts that are happening. So there's going to be change to demographics, platforms, and just the way the business is handled overall. The very wise Albert Einstein said that you have to understand the rules of the game and play it better than anyone else in order to succeed. So when it comes to understanding the rules of the game as it's concerned with marketing and business, business was defined as you have a quality product of value that people want and need at a price they're willing to pay and at a price that your business makes money. That's the core principle to any business model, right? You have to have a quality product that people want and need, you're solving their problem, at a price that they're willing to pay. They see more value than what they're getting back than they're putting in, but at a price that your business also makes money. Pretty practical business advice, pretty solid advice, but there's going to be a lot more ands to this sentence and this statement as we evolve to 2020. So we're going to talk about what some of those ands are. So I recently had a trip to the pharmacy. Anyone in here suffer from allergies? All right? Yeah. I didn't know what that was like until about 3 years ago, and unfortunately, my little daughter found out what it was like this year. So I'm like, okay, I know what to do for me now, finally, but I didn't know what to do for her. So I ended up going to the pharmacy, and this is an actual picture from the pharmacy, and I was expecting to find like 1 or 2 products for kids' allergies, right? There's usually like Zyrtec, Claritin, or whatever for adults. But I'm bombarded with all of these options at the store. So I'm like, oh my God, what do I get her? And you're always scared for kids because you're like, you don't want to get them something that they're gonna, make their symptoms worse. And so I started reading the labels, looking at it, putting it back. They all say 24-hour, indoor, outdoor, non-drowsy. So I'm like, what the heck is the difference between this stuff? So I did what any good mother would do. What do you do, moms, if your kids have a symptom that you don't know? You get on your phone, right? So I'm at the grocery store. I'm already there for like 10 minutes staring at this thing, looking like an idiot. So then I'm like going on my phone, and I'm researching, and I get to mothers' forums that talk about the right product to buy and the ones that could be the safest for your child. And that's the one that I end up getting. How many of you have purchased something, but before you made that decision, you searched it online recently? I think I've seen about every hand go up. And why this is important, because this is the new customer. This is the customer that's already starting here now and that will be here in the future. Customers in 2020 are more informed and educated than ever before. And the world has gotten smaller. Before we only knew about products that we could really within our reach, right? But now we can find products anywhere. I mean, you literally search online and can find anything you're looking for, which has made a big improvement to my Halloween costumes because now I can find everything, right? So this customer has everything at their fingertips. They are now holding the power when it comes to doing business and marketing. They are the ones that are deciding which product or service that they purchase. And they're basing it off of what you have online and what other people are saying about your product. Your brand is no longer what you tell people it is, it's what we tell each other that it is. We're gonna focus on 3 researches. This is not just me saying this based on my pharmacy visit. And this is 3 surveys that were done and research companies that were done by Walker 2020. So if you wanna look it up later, you can write down these names. Coca-Cola, Keys to Retailers in 2020, and then Intuit, 20 trends that will shape the next decade. So this is overall, I picked 3 different researches that were done. One is for B2B customers, so if you sell business to business. The other one's Coca-Cola for retailers, so what's gonna shift and take place for retailers. And the last one is B2C, so business to consumer. So it'll give us a good wide range of different opinions. So if these big brands are paying research companies, Intuit, Coca-Cola, paying research companies an obscene amount of money to find out why their customers are changing and their behavior's changing, I don't know about you, but I want to know what they know. Like, they have the money to spend on the research, we might as well tap into that information, right? So we want to find out what they know, what is different and what the shift. I want to watch a short 3-minute video with you. I'm praying the Wi-Fi cooperates, and we'll come back and talk about it.
Meet Kimi. She's a child of the 90s, so she's a digital native. Sure, she still does lots of things the way her parents did, but what's really important about her is how she's different from the previous generation. Here's an example. Kimi's planning a dinner party, but not just any dinner party. She's throwing a tweet-worthy feast for all her friends that will make her the queen of her social circle. Oh, and one more thing. It's the year 2020. So Kimi's a different kind of consumer with different demands. Since her whole life's been shaped by digital, she has a different relationship to retail than her parents. Sure, she's using the same channels her parents used, but how she uses them is totally different. That means attracting her with today's retail strategies isn't going to work in 2020. And just to be clear, there are cajillions of Kimis out there, getting ready to flood your retail channels, or flood someone else's. And whether or not you can attract these Gen 2020s depends on the decisions you make right now. Understanding how to attract consumers like Kimi will be crucial for retailers over the next decade. That's why the Coca-Cola Retailing Research Council, Kantar, and TNS conducted their latest research. And the results of that research are clear. Provide better basics, embrace hyper-convenience, offer consumers an experience, and do all of these things digitally as well as in your physical channels. Remember Kimi's dinner party? Well, the first thing she needs to do is make a list of what she needs. And since digital devices will have proliferated so much by then, she'll be ready to engage either digitally or in person, which means you've got to be ready. No matter how she decides to engage, you've got to be prepared to do a better job of providing the basics. Things like selection and shopping environment will influence her decision in person, and browsing speed and security will make or break a digital transaction. In both cases, a better basic experience is the first step in attracting Gen 2020. And once Kimi is interested, you've got 2 ways to win her heart. Either make shopping easier for her, both physically and digitally, or make it an engaging experience. Or both. To successfully engage Gen 2020, you've got to make things hyper-convenient and meaningful. Just displaying your wares won't work anymore. Kimi wants an experience when she goes shopping. And your work isn't done when the transaction's complete. Kimi's a social being. She shares her experience with other Gen 2020s. And her recommendation starts the cycle over again for one of her friends. Retail success in 2020 depends upon nurturing a relationship with customers, so you're already at their fingertips the next time they need you. Kimi's dinner party is a success. She found a retailer that delivered better basics, her transaction was easy as pie, and she had a great experience she shared with her social circle. Attracting customers like Kimi in the future will be hard work, but by monitoring the evolution of the consumers in your locale, you'll be ready to offer Gen 2020 the retail relationship they'll demand. Find out how to monitor these insights at ccrrc.org.
All right, so what this video taught us is that the change for retailers means that you have to be focused on 3 main things that have some subcategories under it. But the main thing is better basics. You have to make sure that your product is quality and that you're taking feedback from customers and improving over time, because we're telling each other what our experience was like with dealing with your business. The cleanliness of your store is going to matter. Has anyone ever taken a trip to Disney recently? Did you see any trash anywhere on the floor? I was so impressed by that. I mean, you walk into Disney and you see nothing, and they have thousands of people going there, but they're highly focused on the experience. And experience is going to trump price. Is the #1 reason why people are going to purchase your product over another. So you have to be focused on the full experience. You know, we try to do that even here when you're walking in. Does anybody get cheers while you're coming through the door? You know, the music, everything that is the full-on experience is what is going to matter in 2020. And even now, really. Don't wait. So the hyper-convenience, it has to be easy to do business with you. It has to be very easy to make a transaction, to shop in your store, to make sure everybody's on the same page, and that you know as much about your competitors and other products that are available other than yours as your customer does. Remember, they're doing research, and they say 60% of the buying cycle is over before someone even talks to you or talks to a rep and within your business. 60% is a long time for someone to decide if they're going to do business with you or not. So you want to make sure that it's very super easy to do business with you and that you know what else is out there and what you're getting compared against and how you can kind of trump that. Home delivery. I mean, how many of you have subscribed to the new like Birch boxes or any of those home delivery things that are out right now, right? Kate and I are like, we got a lot of them. We're getting in trouble with their husbands. But it's easy, right? You get things shipped to you. So the more that you can make the process easy for your customer, home delivery, online security, they have to trust you and know that their information is protected, especially with just the evolution of people getting hacked and all of that. They want to make sure that your business knows what it's doing. And if you have a clunky site, they're not going to be so sure if they want to check out or not on that, So you want to make sure that you have that all intact. Experience also goes through edutainment. Remember, the customer is on the buyer's journey. They're trying to decide if they want to do business with you or not. So they're usually doing some research, finding out if you can solve their pain point, and two, are you the best person to do that? If you just have fact sheets of stats and all this other rigmarole, they're not going to want to read through it. So you have to make sure that you're educating, but you're also focused on entertaining in the process. Kind of like that video. They could have gave us all the stats that they found for the research, but instead they made it a little bit more fun and engaging, so you wanted to watch it the whole way through. That is the future for retailers. This is based on Intuit study on the trends that are going to shape the next decade. First, baby boomers are going to be opting for non-retirement. They're going to kind of phase out of the workload that they're taking on, but they're still going to be working in some fashion. They're stepping out of the leadership roles, kind of let the next generation step in, but they're still kind of got their finger on the pulse. But Gen Y, all of us Gen Yers in here, I still want to call myself the millennial because I'm like at that cutoff, but really, I'm kind of Gen Y. But they're going to be taking on the leadership roles, and they're bringing their love of technology that they've grown up with them. So they're going to be shaping their companies that they're working at and making sure that they're incorporating all the technology and trying to streamline the way that business is done to work smarter, not harder. The next thing is it's a she economy. So women are going to now out-educate men in the year 2020. That wage gap, thank God, is going to start closing. And more women are going to be taking on leadership roles. They say that women's the primary decision maker in the households for purchasing decisions. They're going to start being more of a decision maker in the business world and purchasing decisions. So if you're only targeting men, you might want to consider, adding in more attractive things to women and what women want. There's going to be a cultural fusion, more, culturally diverse work group, 16% Hispanic population. There's going to be more local collaboration, which we've already started seeing this a couple weeks ago, like Outlook partnered with Starbucks, right? Who would have thought? Now you can schedule a meeting, request a Starbucks that's nearby, and get people to put their orders in and then meet up. Microsoft with LinkedIn. We're going to start seeing not just big business to big business, we're going to start seeing big companies partnering with local companies and local companies partnering with other local companies. Because as a smart business person, you can't do it all. You can't solve every solution, but if you can partner with other people that are solving that solution well, and you guys work together seamlessly, you're going to just enhance your overall customer relationships. We're also going to see wellness spending increase. All the healthcare people in here go, yes. So, like new tech gadgets, things like that, we've already kind of started seeing that on the, that wave kind of coming through. We're going to have more startups because you now don't have to have a business loan to start a business. You really just need a laptop, and you can get started. So we're going to start seeing a lot more startups pop up, and they are creative, and they're focusing on how they can solve customer problems, which is the power of using online marketing. And niche businesses are going to win big. If you have a plethora of products that you just do subpar, you need to reconsider. Find the 1 to 3 things that you do really, really well, and just do that really, really well. Because if not, somebody's going to find that one person that just does that really well and that really well. You don't have to be the shopping mall of whatever industry that you're in. People want to find the niche products that just are solving their problems. All right, who knows what this app is or wants to admit that they know what this app is? No judging. No judging. All right. Who raised their hand over here? What is this app? Well, yeah, kind of. We'll call it a hookup app. It's a dating app. Who knows what it does? You swipe right to match to somebody you like. Swipe left, it's not so feeling the hookup, right? So, all right. And so how long does the average person take before they're saying, yeah, no? Yeah, a few seconds, right? What the heck does this have to do with business? Well, 10 seconds is what people are either swiping right or left on your business when they go to your website. So you have to see, like, what does this mean for you and your site? If people are going there and trying to find this edutainment and find out if they're solving their problems or not, they're trying to decide if you are a match for them. In 10 seconds, can I see that this company can solve my problem? And do they do it well in an attractive way? So in order to succeed with this, you're going to have to get personal. You're going to have to understand who's going to be visiting your site and what kinds of things that they're going to want. We call this buyer personas because you really have to understand and get in the minds of the customers that you're serving and find out what are their pain points, what are their goals. Those are the main two questions that you have to ask yourself. And what kinds of styles do they like? Are they more conservative, or are they going to be turned off by conservative and want a little bit more fun? You know, is it women? Is it men? What's their age demographics? What kinds of things are they going to relate to? You have to understand that in order to know that you can present yourself right? So 10 seconds, they're going to be visiting your site. You want to make sure that your homepage or whatever page that they're landing on is going to speak directly to that person. If you don't know that information or you want to improve that information, in 2020, this is based on Walker Study 2020 study, that that customers and brands are going to try to understand each other a lot more. So brands are investing in a customer relationship system, a CRM, which will track what their customer behavior is on their website and what kinds of things that they want and need. So if you've ever been to a website, they're giving away all this great information, but asking you to fill out a form in order to get it or in exchange for it. That's what they're trying to do. You need to progressively profile your customers so you can completely understand who they are and what they need. And it doesn't just stop after the purchase is complete. You want to make sure you're doing this ongoing. For those that don't have a CRM or that are spending money on the CRM, you're probably like, okay, what's in it for me? Like, how does this relate into dollars, right, for business owners? So with using this inbound marketing practice, which means drawing people into you, understanding who they are, and trying to make your website and your online presence kind of a salesperson for you, if you will, you're going to have 54% more leads with inbound marketing tactics than traditional paid marketing. And you're going to have 3 times more leads as well. Why is this? Because you're already getting to know people before they're talking to you. So if you're waiting just to drive people in and then talk to them once they're there, you're going to miss out on that huge opportunity of capturing their information and nurturing them online. They say 10 touches with your company is the average before somebody purchases from you. So you have to be present online and connecting with them in order to get those touches in. Speaking of that, so this is a cornhole board. And we have some over there for you to try out. But this is based on a company that pursued us, Now Marketing Group. So we are HubSpot partners, and we've worked with HubSpot for a long time. This company, Sharp Spring, had reached out to us. They kind of are a competitor to HubSpot, right? And they offer solutions that will help for the businesses that don't have the HubSpot revenue, money to spend on that software. They help businesses kind of get started with that CRM. So this company realized that we were working with HubSpot, and they called us and actually, asked a few questions, and we had downloaded a few of their sheets online, and they started pursuing us. So the first time they sent us a 12-pack of root beer and said, cheers, we just want to introduce ourselves. So we opened it, we kind of gave their company a look a little bit, but then, forgot about them for a while. They then sent us these cornhole boards. All the time they're sending us a drip campaign of solutions on how to run better inbound marketing campaigns. They sent us, this is a corn bag, I think is what it's called, where it has a really large one that is called HubSplat, and small ones that have their logo on it. They said, we understand that HubSpot's not the right fit for everyone, and we want to make sure that you have an alternative for the people that can't do HubSpot. Super creative marketing. this is what you have to think about. If they didn't know that we were a HubSpot client, not to say you have to send cornhole boards to all your customers, but get creative with it, in a way that's going to tell the story in an interesting way that appealed to us. They knew our office is a fun group. We try to do fun things like cornhole together. So that's what they use to market to us. And they ultimately won our business. Now we offer another solution besides just HubSpot. Patient yet persistent as well. They tried marketing to us for a year before we actually decided to work with them. The key is being a magnet, doing creative marketing and having your house kind of in order, if you will, so when people get there, they can find what they're looking for. The key is drawing people into you with being a magnet versus being a bullhorn. If people are calling your office and spamming you, do you really feel opted to buy their product or service? You get annoyed, right? I'm like, tell them I'm not here. They're like, man, she's never in the office. That girl don't work. But it's because you don't want to be bombarded with salespeople all the time. But if you're searching for a problem to be solved, you're ultimately going to find your match, the person that offers that. So make sure, in order to do this, you have a CRM system in place so you can understand the people that are coming to your business intimately. You know who they are, what they need from you. The next thing is humanizing your brand, making it relatable to the person that you're talking to in a conversational tone, so they feel a little bit more comfortable to talk to you. And then focus on that edutainment. How can you educate your customers in a way about how you solve their problems without being boring or just not interesting? They don't want to really care about all the tech things that you do, and making it how you do it. They just want to know that you solved their problem. You can't tell people where to go to, and you're like, oh, I already got this covered. Just go follow me on Snapchat, or go follow me on Twitter, or go follow me here, or here. You have to go to where they're hanging out to engage them. You can't just tell them where to go and how to connect with you. You have to go where they're at. And if you offer value, though, on another the site, like your website or Snapchat or whatever it is, if you're offering value there, people will find you. If you're indispensable, they will follow you anywhere. Here's an idea for you guys, something that we've been testing out. And we've started creating resource centers on some of our clients' websites. So having a resource center on your website, if you're somebody that's focusing on B2B marketing, having a resource center right on your website to draw people to and say, here's your one-stop shot to find everything that you need around what you're trying to solve or the goal that you're trying to reach. So you can separate it in different categories, but we started testing this out on, I think, 6 clients' websites so far, and that's the number one page that people are getting to. One, it's an SEO magnet, search engine optimization magnet. So it's drawing in the search engines to this page, but then it also has the resources very easy to find for your customers, focusing on that edutainment. People are going to interact on their own terms, so you have to make sure that it's extremely easy to do business with you. So something like a resource center or a CRM or a chat box on websites. If you've seen those chat boxes on websites, to make it really easy to connect with you. But you have to get in the minds of your customers first to know what their needs are. Conversation channel. So right now, and it's already started to take this shift, but right now, email, phone, and in-person are the top 3 ways that businesses connect with their customers. This is going to change in 2020. We've already started seeing this shift. The first one is going to be online communities. You're probably already starting to see this from the bigger brands. If you're trying to find an answer to something, you're greeted by this massive section, online communities that already have questions on there that each other are answering. So their actual customers that you're connecting with are answering questions of other customers. This one not only helps build a relationship with the brand, but also helps the brand's customers build relationships with each other and create this tribe, if you will. Online communities is going to be the number 1. Then social media is going to be the second way that companies are engaging with their customers. We've already seen this with some of the Twitter channels, with Twitter support for customer service, Facebook groups. In addition to the Facebook pages, you'll start seeing even more of that in the future. So the 3 main keys to success in 2020 is Build a nurturing platform relationships with your clients. So what this means is being where they are and engaging in conversation, and being present if they're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, wherever they are at, be there and be relationship-minded with them. Don't just auto-post and don't listen there, but be mindful of the relationships. So the next time that they need you, you're already at their fingertips. The second thing is focus on your experience that you're offering when people come to your site and do business with you. And then even after the sale, are you staying up to date with them? Are you letting them know if something's changed within your business? Sending them emails, drip campaigns, helping with trainings ongoing or whatever it may be. Not just offering sales, but support. That's like if you go to the creamery, the experience that you get there. Anybody local here go to the creamery and you order a small, and that reaction that you get when you get your small, that's what your customers should feel, that they've gotten more value out of their relationship with you than what they've put in. The third thing is anticipating the needs of your customer before they even know that they have that need. And I'll tell a very quick story because I'm getting the signal, time's running out. But my dad recently had to go to the hospital, and he was in ICU. And if any of you have stayed at the hospital, it can be very nerve-wracking if you've had to have test results ran, or you're waiting on the doctor to kind of tell you what's going on with you. And as he's sitting there in the hospital room, he was brought in an iPad from his nurse. And I was like, oh, that's cool. He's got his own iPad, but that's awesome. But it had the room name and stuff on it. So she said, oh no, this is a new thing that we're doing here at St. Rita's. And what it included in this iPad is all the nurses' names, the shifts that they were working. He had all of his care team kind of there so he could familiarize himself with them. He also had his doctor's contact, so you could actually send your doctor a message through this portal. And then all the tests that were being ran and the results of them were also placed on this iPad. It's getting focused back on the patient. So I know a lot of nursing home and healthcare are all getting this patient-minded care system in place. So his mind was a lot more at ease. He could see the test results and didn't have to wait for the next day when the doctor made his rounds, which could be from 9 to 11. They never really kind of nailed down a time when they're coming in. So he was just thinking of the customer and how they're going to want to experience their stay there. Thinking of the needs before it exists. Thinking of other things that you can improve in your process to make it better than before, to get people buzzing about your brand and telling others how great that was with working with you, that you exceeded their expectations. In order to do this, we'll have to focus on some insight selling, so understanding kind of what your customer needs. That customer relationship manager, you have to keep gathering information in order to understand who they are, so you know what their next need will be. Listening is a huge player in this. So be aware of the shift that's taking place for 2020, first and foremost. Create the resources now that you'll need on the platforms that you'll need, and make sure that you're asking for referrals. So whether that's Facebook, LinkedIn, your website, make sure you're asking for referrals so it's already there when your customer, or potential customer I should say, is visiting. 88% of people trust online reviews just as much as they would if their mom, brother, sister, cousin told them. It's pretty powerful. And then remember to delight in every stage of the marketing journey. My wish for you, that is in 2020, your customers, may you know them, may you earn them, and may you grow them. Because we want everybody to get a swipe right? All right. Thank you, guys.